Too many students struggle with basic trigonometry. In this video I'll show you how to do basic trigonometry the easy way. I'm going to do this example first. Always draw a decent sized diagram. Put in your sizes. You don't need the centimetre bit, you don't need units. X, 35 degrees. Now, make sure you name the triangle properly. That's where a lot of mistakes are made. So the biggest side's called the hypotenuse, which you put an H on. It's always opposite the right angle, since the right angle is always the biggest angle. The next thing is to do the opposite, and the opposite is opposite the angle that you're given or the one you're looking for. So draw an arrow from the degrees, and you can see that the opposite's across there. The other side is called the adjacent. Now always name them in that order: hypotenuse first, then opposite, then adjacent. Now we'll look at our diagram and we can see we're looking for the one that's not used. You can see the H is used because it's 8.6 centimetres. The O is the one we're looking for because that's the X, and the other one is the A. So it's A that's not being used, so cross out the A. Now we write our SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. Always write it in triangles because that's part of the working. Now I'm going to show you on my bigger version so it's easier to see. So there's a SOHCAHTOA, and we look for the one that has no A. So you can see there's an A on the TOA, there's an A on the Ka. It's the SAW that has no A. So we put a triangle in it. That's the equation, the part that we're using. Now we look for the, whatever we're really looking for, and we're looking for the X. So we put a circle round the O because the O is on the X. And then we can see the equation we're going to use. It's going to be the O is equal to, and the S and H are in a line, so it's got to be S times H. So I'll just put that away to the side. So what we did was put a triangle on the SAW, and we circled the O. So we've got O equals S times H. Now looking at our diagram, the O is the X, so replace it with an X. The S from your calculator is sine, so it's sine, and sine, cos and tan's always of the angle. So remember, put brackets around the angle so it reminds you to close the brackets. That's another mistake you can make. Times 8.6, which is the H. Now all that's left to do is press your little buttons on the calculator. So we've got sine, and it opens the bracket for you. You put in 35, close the bracket, that's the important bit, times 8.6 equals, and we can see we've got 4.93 to, so if we take it to one decimal place, we get 4.9. So remember, put in the centimetres, and that's how easy trigonometry is. We'll next go on and do one where we've got an X on the long side. The example we're doing this time is the one here. So as usual, we start by drawing the triangle. Put on your X, your 23, and your angle is 48 degrees. We now name the triangle, so the one opposite the right angle is the H, because it's the biggest one. We're then looking for the one opposite. The angle is O, and the one next door to the angle is the last one you name. Remember, always name them in that order. Biggest one first is H, then the opposite, and then the adjacent. Now we'll look to see which one we're not using. The A is 23, the H is X, so it's O we're not using. I'll now get my big version so you can see what exactly is going on. So we've got our SOHCAHTOA, and you'll see the one without the O's is the one in the centre, and we'll put the triangle on it. So we triangle the centre one, the car, and we now look to see where the X is, and the X, the one we're looking for, is on the H. So this time we're circling the H, and you can see it's different this time. We're looking from the H. If you put your finger over that, you've got A over C. So the formula isn't a multiply this time, it's a divide. So we can set this away to the side. I'll put my circle on the H, and the formula is H equals A over C. Now looking at the H, is obviously, since it's about the beginning, it's the X. Now the A is 23 divided by the C. The C is the C in your calculator, which is the cos. So it's cos, remember, open the brackets, use the bracket version, and we've got 48, close the brackets. So we now know that X is equal to, pressing our little buttons on our calculator, we've got 23 divided by, and we've got cos, and it's 48, close the brackets, equals, and our answer is 34.37, etc. So we'll round to one decimal place and call it 34.4. Again, you see how easy it is. The last example we're going to do is finding the angle. In this final example, we're going to do one where we're finding the angle. We just start off the same as normal, draw your triangle, put in your X degrees, put in your 31 and put in your 25. Name the sides as usual. The biggest side's hypotenuse, which is always opposite the right angle. Draw your line from the angle, which is X this time, and that means the opposite's across there, and that means the next door one, your adjacent's there. Have a look at your sides. The A is 31, the O is 25, so the one that's not being used is H. Draw out your SOHCAHTOA. Now I'll use the big one like I did before. We're looking for the one without an H. So there's an H there, an H there. So the one that's not got the H is the TOA. It's the X we're looking for, and there's no angle here, but it's the tan of the angle we're looking for. It's a T that's to do with the angle. So we put the circle in the T, and then it's easy to see what the formula is going to be. T equals O over A. So if we put that on there, and put our T in there, and we can put this away. Set this to the side. So that's our equation, T equals O over A. At this point there's a slight difference because T is tan off the calculator, but it's tan of the angle. So the tan is ending up on this side, so you can't do it just now. You've got to wait till you do the other side first. So we've got O, which is 25. We've got A, which is 31. So we have tan X, which we keep together just now. We take our calculator, do our 25 divided by 31, and that gives us 0.8064. Keep at least 3 figures, although we'll hold it on the calculator. And our final answer, to get X, we've got to get rid of the tan. So to get rid of the tan, you go shift tan or second tan, and you can see tan minus 1 is what we're actually doing written above the tan. So you just go shift tan, it'll do it for you, you don't need to put in the answer. And our answer, you can see 38.88, I mean, so 38 point, rounded to one decimal place because it's 38.9 degrees. And that's how you do all the questions using simple trig.